Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Boltyn Battles. I've been taking a break recently, been experimenting with Royal Boltyn, Dawnblade Boltyn. It's kind of the lull period, which is why I've just been experimenting. There has been some discussion regarding the Dromai matchup in the Boltyn Discord chat, which was why I decided to, showcase my take on it. So yeah, my general advice for Dromai is to be as stingy as you can. I'm a cheapo at heart, so I always try. I used to at least always try and get the most value out of my money. Right, I take the same mindset against Dromai. The matchup is so tight to the point that I cannot miss out any crucial damage because it might cost me the game. And especially with the Sigil of Solaces, I think there's like 9. Do they run 3-offs? And the additional help from the dragons and stuff like that. It does really add up. So here I block with Battlefield Blitz first because it's you have to pitch to take flight, followed by a Battlefield Blitz, followed by Radiant. That takes up it's a 4-card hand, I think. Yeah, it's a 4-card hand, which means I don't get an Arsenal. And then I was considering whether to block with a Bolt of Courage the previous turn or to block with Snap and take 1 damage. The reason being I want to guarantee a charge card, because not having a charge card at the start of the turn really at the start of the game really sucks. And I could have been punished here, if I didn't draw this Engulfing Light. He blocks with his armor, I'm happy. I could have gone for the Yunderai, but my general principle is I pop Yunderais because Yunderais take out 2 cards from my 2 attacks from me. Here I have a CNC, I'm very happy, but he plays a Dromai, which means whether I like it or not, he's gonna keep attacking with his dragons. But instead of choosing to pop Dromai, I pop Yunderai instead. Because popping Yunderai here means I don't have to deal with it. Here I can Crown Providence away, but Lumina is a pretty good card, so I'm keeping it there. And I'm just gonna snatch Dromai. So I know Dromai is more threatening and stuff like that, but if I knew I could have, I can deal with it with a snatch, which was why I decided to pop Yunderai instead. And let's keep in mind there that the reason why I run snatch in this matchup is because it is a very good 1-card hand. I could pop any dragon I want, draw a card and replace it. Most importantly, it can destroy Mirror Guy. And what Mirror Guy is 4 health, right? And the only thing that are 4 health in our deck is Take Flight or Snatch. And that's why I love Snatch. Here he Billowing Mirages, I am fine with that. I look at my hand, the thing I'm going to do is Engulfing Light, Charge Spirit. And if I wanted to, I could Lumina, and then CNC. But I don't really want to go for the high play, right? At most, I want to keep CNC in my hand to pop in a Crucial Dragon. And I am quite curious as to why he decided to pitch Nacria, is it? Yeah, he pitched Nacria, which makes me consider maybe there's a bigger dragon, So therefore, I choose to save my CNC. And he plays Mirror Guy here, which I am very happy to pop because, Mirror Guy. So I pop it. Once again saving the CNC, and he has no arsenal, so that CNC would have mattered. And here Engulfing Light, right? One of the greatest things, one of the considerations when you're playing against Dromai as Boltyn here is that we have on hits. And usually our on hits are powerful, they are useful, but they are always blocked out. The yellows and the blues are usually just blocked out with 1 card. But that isn't true when you're attacking their dragons, which was why I decided, hey, instead of letting him block out, I can just go for the dragons, because the dragons 2 damage with Engulfing Light, right? Their dragons are most likely that 1 dragon could attack me for the next 4 or 5 turns. And killing the dragon off means I save myself a couple of life. And with that, with that turn where it wasn't very impactful being able to clean a dragon is better than to hit face. So here Kyloria threatens to take our spirit. Boo, you know, we have such a good hand, full raids, take flight, charging engulfing light, board of courage, courageous steel hand, Lumina, like such a good hand. But because of this Kyloria, I have to change my play. Not really change my play, but I have to use equipment to block. And I sang the engulfing light raid away in hopes to draw something less powerful to charge. Because once again, it's going to be a long game. I am trying to conserve the power level of my deck. So here, I thought through this. I made a misplay here. Okay, what I do here is I take flight into Kyloria, charging engulfing light, followed by a bolt of courage, courageous steel hand, and then Lumina. The correct play is to bolt of courage the Kyloria at the end. Here's the math. Take flight deals 4 damage, bolt of courage deals 3. Both would deal with the Kyloria, correct? And both methods, actually, attacking Kyloria with bolt of courage guarantees me the draw card. So not only with this play, not only did I just sacrifice 1 damage, take flight is 4 damage, bolt of courage is 3 damage, right? I sacrifice 1 damage. I also open myself up to the risk of bolt of courage not throwing a card, which is so sus. Like, come to think of it, that's... yeah. So, once again, the on hits, majority of the time go at the dragons, because the dragons guarantee the on hit. So here, I'm lucky he only has 1. Can you imagine if he blocked and then sunk below? I wouldn't be able to draw a card. What am I supposed to do? I'm gonna cry. So, I have 1 less damage here. But yeah, in Dromai, it is best to always min-max your damage. I draw a take flight blue, which I'm very kind of sad about, but minimally it's a Aether Ash Wind God, and I'm quite okay with that. So here, once again, Spirit of Irina really helping us out, helping us conserve soul. The early mistakes I made with Spirit was that I still gave it go again with Boltyn, which means that I wasted a soul. And you can play a Lumina as a trick because of Spirit, so you don't really have to reveal it until after they declare reactions. So here I'm okay. I put in take flight in the arsenal. Yeah, that would have netted me 1 additional damage, I think. Would it matter in the long run? Probably yes, maybe no, but it is still 1 damage. And you against a matchup like Dromai, when you are aiming to play this competitively, that 1 damage really is a lot. Yunderai swings at me for 3. I looked at my hand, I don't have poppers, it's not worth blocking because I can swing for better. So here I look at my hand, I see take flight, charge a bolt of courage, followed by a Valiant Trust, a Radiant, and then another bolt of courage. Once again, I am pitching the yellow because I look at my hand, I only need 2 resources to do this, and charging the blue. Yes, I know, maybe it doesn't matter, but when the game is going this long, and when you are heading into the late game, it's discipline, you know, being able to charge the right cards, conserving your deck's power level. And I know I mentioned earlier that I don't really invest damage into I don't really invest cards into Yunderai, I just want to pop it. While that may be true, in this case, what attacking Yunderai does lets me guarantee once again my on hit for both courage. And I am only doing that I am only losing out on a 2 damage from the take flight. So another consideration here, I should have Radiant before Valiant Trusting, because Radiant is a known it's how do I put it? It's a known variable. He knows I'm gonna Radiant. What he doesn't know is that I have a take flight. So I should have Radiant first and then Valiant Trust. I know it's a very small nuance and it's so tiny it might not even matter, right? But it is a good consideration to have when you're playing in Boltyn, because Boltyn is such a fair hero. Oh my god, calling Boltyn fair. is there even a good way to put it? But you're not fine. You cannot just deal unlimited amounts of damage with your Phoenix Flames and shit like that. And these small nuances might help you close the game. So here I go for Bolt of Courage with Yunderai once again, taking advantage of the fact that they can't block their dragons. So yeah, I'm sorry if I'm rambling a lot. It's just that I do have a lot I want to say about this matchup, because I don't really think it's that okay. No, that like it's a challenging matchup for sure. It is just like the matchup against Prism. You have to see when you want to attack their auras, when you want to go for their face, when you want to pop their phantasms. But it's what makes it fun, you know. Mirror Guy here, I'm not scared. I don't have any poppers anyways. I'm not gonna block Mirror Guy or the Ashwing. Okay, considerations here. I clearly cannot play the second Beacon of Victory, so I'm just gonna throw it away. I'm gonna pitch it. I will swing at okay, so here are three considerations, right? Beacon of Victory from my arsenal is gonna search for Lumina, and if I Beacon of Victory my sword and a Lumina, that will add up to 5, which means that I net 1 damage loss with Mirror Guy. If I were to swing, if I were to Radiant, if I were to Beacon of Victory as I swing Radiant. But here, instead, what I do is I take flight. Should I? Yeah, okay. So instead of doing that, what I do here is I Valiant Trust, and then I add the Beacon of Victory +1 to Valiant Trust. Making sure that, because when I'm attacking face, I'm not losing any damage. And then I will Lumina and swing Mirror Guy for the guaranteed on hit. Is there a different consideration here? Yes, another play I could have made was to take flight the Mirror Guy, followed by a Beacon of Victory to look for my Lumina, and then swing everything else at face. But once again, the lack of information in Beacon of Victory, I want to use Beacon of Victory at the very last possible moment, because with Spirit of Irina, it has now become a combat trick. It has Lumina has now become a combat trick that I really want to capitalize on. So here, what the best card I would have wished for was a Snatch, because what I could have done is swing Radiant and then snatch the Mirror Guy. But because I used my 2 snatches in the start, it's okay. Would I have searched for a snatch here? It would have been a consideration, but then I would be left with no soul. So that's another problem to have. So here I swing with a Mirror Guy, and he already knows I have Lumina, so it doesn't matter here. And then I'll swing at his face. Once again, guaranteeing the on hit on the dragons. Because they can't block the dragons. Mirror Guy is annoying. If it was 3, my take flight could have dealt with it, but no, it has to be 4. He cashes in, I'm a little afraid. Would I have searched for a Snatch there? I don't think I would. Okay, I need to keep soul, right, for my Lumina, but with Spirit of Irina, once again, it's so powerful that I don't have to consider souls for my Radiant swing anymore, because a Lumina pays it back. And with the Snatch there, I could have gotten an Arsenal card, which I would want. I'm not very sure. But oh well. Different considerations to have. Not in this scenario, because I don't have any... I did have a Snatch, so... The Snatch would have given me 4 damage, while the Lumina would have netted me 5? Is it 5? 1 from the Lumina and 4 from the next swing. So the Lumina would have been the better play. And it lets me recharge my soul, which is something I want. I think I would be tempted to find a Snatch, but I don't think I would. Here he Kylorias again, this annoying guy. Why? Why do you have so many Kylorias? Why do you want my Spirit? Huh? My Spirit isn't that threatening. So I look at my hand, right? At the start of the turn I considered. I have Tunic up. I could Tunic, take flight, charge Engulfing Light, followed by Radiant, followed by E-Port. And that sets me up for my future turns. But now because of this Kyloria, I have to block it. And I'm considering I can Tunic and stuff. But that allows me to Radiant for 3 with Tunic. I can Tunic, take flight, charge Energy Potion, Courageous Steel Hand stays in Arsenal, I can 3 and 3. But the Tunic here is very crucial for my Veil of the Vanguard turns. Because Veil of the Vanguard costs 1, right? So instead, I conserve the Tunic and I Engulfing Light his Kyloria. Once again, capitalizing on the on-hit effect of Engulfing Light. As I mentioned, Veil of the Vanguard, I have Tunic up. Bonkers. But I have 2 Courageous Steel Hand, and when you want Veil of the Vanguard, you want to go wide. You don't want to go tall, because what Veil of the Vanguard does very well is that it converts the card that you charged into +1 attack for the entire chain. So you want more attacks to capitalize on the +1. It's the same as Heart of War. So here he Ember Paw Sanipies me. I'm not very scared. Like, sure, I look at my hand, I look at my life differential total, I can deal with it. But he takes it back, which I am fine with, I guess. Okay, another consideration that I forgot to mention when he played. Burn Them All. Burn Them All, it might seem very unsuspecting, right? But when you are low on life, you can block every single dragon. No, like that's not a problem. The problem comes when you are unable to block when unblockable damage is presented to you, and that comes in the form of Burn Them All. So it's something to consider. I have found myself in situations where I'm like, oh shit, if I blocked correctly, if I conserved my life a little bit more, Burn Them All wouldn't be a problem. But at this high level, at this high life total, it's at the back of my mind, you know. So here he sings Azvola at me. I look at my hand, right? Azvola is another form of unblockable damage. Azvola here. Okay, I know my Veil of the Vanguard isn't very good because there's a Battlefield Blitz. So the only play I can make is a Veil of the Vanguard, charge, Battlefield Blitz, Engulfing Light, Radiant. That's my best play. But here he swings a Dust Up. And not only is Dust Up a 4, it's a 4 and 1 with the Ashwing. And that really shakes me up a bit. I look at my hand, I consider, right? I want to Arsenal Veil of the Vanguard. If I'm not going to pull off my next turn, which at this point I look at it, I'm telling myself it's not powerful enough because of my double Courageous Steel Hand. There's no card draw, there's nothing. So I want to deal with this Dust. How do I deal with the Dust Up? I have no more armor. So the only way I can do it is Tunic, Battlefield Blitz, or I let Dust Up hit. And I think at this point I decided, hey, I'm just going to let Dust Up hit. It's one more dragon. I conserve 3 damage. I Arsenal Veil of the Vanguard. How do I do that? I block with Battlefield Blitz, I take 1 damage, he creates a dragon. Next turn, I Engulfing Light, charge Courageous Steel Hand at his face, play Courageous Steel Hand, give it go again, swing Radiant at the dragon. I know, letting Dust Up hit is so bad. I know, my heart hurts too. But sacrifices have to be made for Veil of the Vanguard. So here, although I did mention, right, or always capitalize your on hits on the dragons. But here, if I were to capitalize my on hit on the dragon, I would be wasting my Courageous Steel Hand. So instead, I throw it at his face, Courageous Steel Hand, and then Radiant. I always make sure I'm able to clear his dragons, because the build up of the dragons is the one thing that's gonna kill you. And I know some people play like Courage and stuff. Courage of is it? Courage of Bladehold, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And then they hope that they don't see the Optimize, is it? Or is it Tomatai, the one that pops your courage? If that's working for you, go ahead, but I don't really get the logic behind it, because you are essentially trying to, like, there's gonna be a build of dragons that you cannot deal with because you're stalling for your combo, and once you combo off, they have so many invocations that don't contribute to your Centauri Saber combo at all. So, and then after that, all they have to do is just play a raid, and then they can just swing back, and then you lose the tempo. So at least this way I gain agency when I play it through this. You guys can argue that, oh, he should have attacked with the 3 Ashwing and then by Azolai, and that would have lost me another 3 life, and that is true. But I think the one thing I want to showcase here in the video is not, this matchup is the easiest thing ever. No, definitely not. I think the matchup, the things I wanna bring up are the many different small nuances and the many different ways you could increase your win rate against Dromai, because it isn't as bad as a matchup as Icelander. If like, honestly, I can waste brain cell. Like, I'm not even gonna waste a single brain cell on the Icelander matchup. In the Kano matchup, that's, I don't know, you know, like, I don't think those matchups are worth playing for. It's because, if you draw Sigil of Solace, the Oasis Respite against Kano, you win, no, you know. I don't really want to put effort into that. I don't really think it's worth my time. Another consideration, the hand before this had no light cards, which meant my V of the Vanguard couldn't be activated. That's why I blocked with the CNC. And it was an Azvolai, was it? Yeah, it was an Azvolai. All the more reason I should block. Once again, unblockable damage, remember? So here, V of the Vanguard, this is my crucial turn, this is my pivot turn. I look at my hand. I can charge 2 cards for 5, followed by Lumina for 6 and 6. 5, 6, and 6, that would be 5, 6, and 6, that would be 17. Or I can charge 1 light card for 4, followed by an E-Strike for 6, followed by a Lumina for 5 and 5. And that would mean that would be 20 damage, leaving me an arsenal. The previous play would have left me an arsenal too, but I'm threatening 20 here. And anything else? Yeah, that's the power of Spirit, you see. What Spirit does here is that because you play at instant speed, for those of us that are new, instant speed Lumina means you don't break the chain, which means that the buff from V of the Vanguard can carry on to your sword, and that's why instead of it swinging for 4, it swings for 5. So here your E-Strike for 6, and then followed by Radiant. Another thing to take note, once again, you can play Lumina at instant speed, which means you don't really have to show it until after reaction. After you declare blockers and during reaction step. So here 6, I draw a card, I look at my hand, I'm a bit disappointed. Engulfing Light Blue, boo, you know, it's the worst thing you want to see, but I'm okay with it, because once again I have snaps, right? I can snaps and do stuff with it, so I don't mind keeping it in the arsenal. So here Radiant goes in for 4. In my mind it's 5 because of Lumina. You cannot break the chain for Brave Forge Braces because it essentially does the same thing with the V of the Vanguard buff. So here once again playing Lumina at instant speed. So he might think, oh, this is 4 and then the game ends, right? 4 and that's it. But because I play Lumina at instant speed, now it becomes a 6 and then another 5. So here, if I played it not as an instant speed, if I showed him, he would be able to block it with the two attack actions with his hand. But because he didn't know I had a Lumina, now it makes it even trickier to block. Once again, I see that he's going down to 2, Engulfing Light now becomes lethal, and therefore I don't keep it in arsenal. I'll just swing at him and force him to block. If he blocks with the Flamescale Furnace, I am happy, he goes down to 1. And the last thing you want to do against a Boltyn is to go down to 1. I look at my hand, I look at his cards. Let's count together, right? His dragons are 1, 2, 3. Burn them all is going to be 4. And that will be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Followed by Sweeping Bolt, that's 7. I still have one more block with Tunic, so I'm at 13. Is there any card in his arsenal that can get him back from this, that can threaten lethal at me to drop my hand? I don't think so. So I'm just making absolutely sure, and then now I'm calculating my next turn. My next turn, what is it going to be? It could be a Take Flight Charge V of the Vanguard. Oh no, it could be a Take Flight Charge Take Flight, followed by a Celestial Cataclysm, followed by a Radiant. So there'll be 4, 7, and 3. 4, 7, and 3, there'll be 14 damage. Alternatively, it could be a V of the Vanguard, a Charge Take Flight. So there'll be 4, followed by 8 and 4. 4, 8, and 4, there'll be 4, 8, and 4, there'll be 16. So there'll be 2 extra damage. And that's what I go for. Okay, considerations here. I am very wary that it could be, once again, you have to place, not safe, you have to know what outs your opponent has against you. I am very wary that it could be a Sigil of Solace that gains him 3 life. You know, there are some situations where you think you've won, and then Sigil of Solace from Arsenal, and then you're like, I don't know if I can curse, so I'm not going to curse here. But yeah, being aware of those outs and trying your best not to fall, not opening yourself to those vulnerabilities. So once again, going down to 1 is bad, because now all my cards buff themselves, right? So if you block with an attack action, you have to consider, you now have to block with 2 cards, if the breaking point thing matters. So now Celestial Cataclysm comes for 8, I calculate that even if those are like 3 block, that's 6 block, followed by a Sigil of Solace that brings you up to 9, I will still win with Radiant. So yeah, that's the matchup. It is tough, that it isn't a guaranteed win. It does take a lot of practice, but I just wanted to put it out there that it is possible to win the matchup, and it is worth playing the matchup and grinding it out and really understanding the nuances that goes into it, because it's one of the most rewarding. Like with Sabers, it's just combo, but with Radiant there are so many intricate plays that could help you win the game, and that's what I really like about this matchup. So yeah, that's the matchup against Dromai. I guess Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.